I just thought it'd be really awesome for you to share your wisdom with us. So big round of applause for Nick. So I created Real Social Dynamics. It's the world's largest dating coaching company. And what we do, as opposed to what most people think a dating coaching company does, is focusing mostly on helping guys go out to bars and clubs with a wingman to pick up girls with hidden cameras following them, telling people what to say and what to do so that they could get confidence and we could critique them. So that if a socially awkward guy is approaching a girl, he's super nervous, we'd be like, dude, you're too rigid here. Your conversation looks like you're interviewing her in a business setting. You need to add some personality and humor. The way you're engaging her, it looks like you're so far away from her, you're scared. And he'll deny it, then we'll show him the video footage and go, no, actually, this is what you look like. Here's what I did, and we have the video footage to prove it. And then we take this video footage, we post it on YouTube, and we get people to buy our products and services, which are a boot camp where you pay $2,000 a weekend. We have a hot seat, which is a $300 large group seminar. And then we have a free tour, which is a large seminar where the average is like 100, 200 people, but we'll go as much as 2,000. And we do these programs so much that we do over 1,000 events a year in 270 cities and 70 countries. And that allows us to create a system where we engage people online, where we have a large following, but also transform it into a live setting, allowing us to engage and build what we say is a tribe. So my business partner is probably the best in the world that I know of at creating a tribe online to offline and making them really engage, to the point where people write articles referring to him like he's a recreation of Jesus Christ and Tyler we trust and stuff like that. And my wife's laughing, but she knows it's true. The kind of dedication our fans have is extreme. I mean, we kind of created a company, though, that was a little bit on the glamorous side of things, from the sense that what we did was we took a situation where I was a nerdy guy that didn't know how to pick up girls, found people on the internet that were really good at it, went out and met up with these people. And the guys who were really good, I invited to move into a house with me in the Hollywood Hills. What happened was, originally there was a guy who started reading my articles. There was these discussion boards. Back before people had their own social media like Facebook, there was discussion boards where people would talk about various topics, and one of them was about how to pick up girls. And I didn't know what I was doing. I thought the only way to get a girl was you had to be rich, famous, or a really good-looking guy. And I felt like that was something that I got brainwashed into because of the mainstream media. And we found all these people that were saying that's not true. There's actually ways you could do it with your personality, who you are, conveying who you are, and you could transform yourself with the inner game and outer game tactics. And this kind of caught this movement of guys that were really engaged into this thing. But the thing is, back in the day, when there was this book written about us that sold a few million copies, it basically talked about how we used to memorize canned scripts and routines to try to pretend we were something we weren't. And then another guy created a whole system where he tried to hypnotize girls. So these guys created these, that was a guy named RJ, and he created these groups that were creepily called lairs. And so what we did was he wrote articles, and then we would travel to these lairs and present to them about how he helped this one kid who was a famous troll on the internet get his first kiss. He was a 30-year-old virgin that never kissed a girl before. He got his first kiss, and no one believed him because he wrote like 30,000 pages of articles about how much of a nerd he was. So when we went to these weird lairs where people believed honestly that, and they even had those little like chains with a ball at the end, that you could actually hypnotize girls to make them like you, we said actually we could get a girl without being rich, famous, good looking, or hypnosis. It's amazing. And we actually had to convince them. And so we'd go out to the bars and clubs, or even, at first it was just the parks. They were too afraid to go into the bars. And when we went to Central Park or Penn Station, these guys would pull out their chain and ball. And I understand it, because I've tried all this too. I'm not immune to criticism here. And then we showed that you don't need this stuff. You could actually just be a cool guy, but you have to believe in yourself. You have to have the belief that you're enough. You have to lose dependence on the outcome. Believe that you could actually get the result, but not care about the result, and you're more likely to get a result. The process of mastery, how to convey who you are from like your inner state, how to like have that firm identity and convey what that is to other people with rhythm and doing it in the right way, so you're leading the conversation with a certain direction as opposed to in a point in this way. And also how to offer value to other people, not just from having money or power, but through who you are as a person and doing it in a way that's cool and trying to figure out how you could contribute to other people's lives and doing it in a way that this program could be used for networking. As a result, we call ourselves Real Social Dynamics as opposed to, say, Dating Dynamics or something relating to seduction or something weird like that. So we were able to go to Starbucks in New York City and convince people to give us $600, and a dozen people showed up, and we convinced all of them to give us $600 at the end of it. And then the next week we went to a lair, and we'd have like 30 people show up, and 18 people gave us $600. Within 3 months, we were able to put down a deposit for this big mansion because every weekend we were doing this. So we got this $5 million house in the Hollywood Hills called Project Hollywood. It was the former Dean Martin Rat Pack mansion. It's now available for sale for $45 million if everyone wants it.
Is that the Runyon Canyon house? Or?
No, that's a different house. We got that way later, like 10 years later. But what happened, this is the house where we originally built our company. And that was the basis of the book, because what happened was there was so much money in the house that every single bedroom in the house turned into a competing company. And then I had to kick everyone out of the house. That led to drama and betrayals and violence, and it became a good book and a story that James Franco's making into a movie.
Is this the Neil Strauss book?
Yeah, that's right. And then what I'm working on, I just feel like I don't want to be defined by that one book. So usually I don't even mention the name of the book.
So Neil was one of your compadres?
Yeah, and that, I mean, I'm Papa from the game, but at the same point, that's only our first year in business. So now I'm working on a film and also a musical, theatrical, that is supposed to be about the rest of the 15 years of our company. So it'll be way more interesting, as opposed to us being defined by this 1 year where we're doing these weird things. And also, there's a much better story. I mean, right after we moved out of, where the big book ends, right afterwards, we were living a crazy life. I was on the board of a party club where we were throwing parties every week. I'm really good at throwing events. That's why our Facebook groups automatically know how to do weekly events. So when we have people who are volunteering, we have a network of 1,000 volunteers. They work in these different Facebook groups and have events. So I used to have events, but I was on the members board of this club called Exini, where people paid $1,000 to $25,000 a month. Did you go to that with Rob Perry and Michael Sutton? They were the owners, and there's enough investors, and I was on the board, but I was on an advisory board. So I'd help them organize parties and get people to go to their parties. I'd fill their mansions with girls and events.
Several months ago, you had your $1 million party, right?
Yeah, that's right. At the other house, not the Runyon house, but the new house with the 2 acres of land. And so basically, we had crazy events. We had the first event, even before I got involved. I was teaching the boot camps myself. Now I have a team of guys who are much better and more appropriately doing it. I'm a married guy, happily married. My guys are still in the bars and clubs picking up girls. But what we did was we threw parties. I remember the first party was a skyscraper where every single floor was a different party. And it was 2 days and 2 nights. And every celebrity you ever heard of was there. And I was when you left, you got a thing that said, hey, if you want to join this club, it's kind of like a mobile country club, but for A-list celebrities and CEOs. If you want to join, I said, I don't care what this is. What I just saw was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I'm going to get as deep as I can as possible. So I went deep, and I got obsessed with networking to the point where I called myself like a social senator of Los Angeles, because I dedicated 100% of my time to saying yes to every single person who invited me to every lunch, every dinner, every networking event. Even if I had 4, 5, 6 dinners in the same night, I'd show up for each one for like 10, 15 minutes, just to network, until I got onto the board of this club. And then I stopped teaching. Exini. Okay. And then my business partner, he was having a great time. We were making a bunch of money. It was making millions of dollars. He was living on a beach in Hawaii where you open the door and then Marriott's would shoot fireworks every night in front of your, and it wasn't even a door that you push. It's like a button, like a car window door where the windows go down and you're opening the balcony. And it was awesome until the recession hit. And then we were hit so hard, I went to the point where I sold everything I owned, had $600,000 in my black card, moved into a car that was parked in the back of the Sheraton LAX airport. And then I was sneaking in there to use their Wi-Fi in order to go on the internet, because our company's based on the internet. I wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the internet. Yeah, and what I then got was an email from my business partner saying, I'm not getting paid. I'm like, that's because there's no money. We're losing $6,000 a day. He goes, okay, I quit then. So I decided to just fly to him without an invitation, just fly to him and show him when I got there this map. So on the way there, I didn't have a plan, but I saw a magazine, an airline magazine. In the back of this airline magazine was this map with all the different flights the Star Alliance flies to. So I showed this to him and I said, here's my plan. I'm going to take our website that has millions of people on, and I'm just going to fly to every city that's on this map that has a population over 500,000 in the next 6 months, and I could sell. So you just put me in front of an audience. I know you can convert 40%, but I'm willing to travel, and I will close 20% of every single person you put me in front of on a program. That's either $1,500 or $300 home study course or something. But I will get us out of this debt. So I did that, and then we got rid of our debt, and I met my wife right after then.
$600K on the black card?
Yep, but we made millions of dollars in sales. But oh, by the way, just so you know, when you're broke, you can't fund something like that. Even when you have money, you can't fund something like that. So what I did was I took advantage of this tribe. So we give so much value to our customer base. We give videos like every day of the week that are like 30 minutes and 90 minutes long of awesome videos. This is like a camera crew of like 3 people. So every instructor travels around the world, there's 10 of them, and they have a crew of 3 to 5 cameramen that follow them all day long, wherever they go, like a reality show, making videos of them all day long. And then we take that content, and every day we release videos around the world in different cities, just energizing them, and we engage with them. And we have a social media platform for them called rsdnation.com where people communicate, share field reports, meet other people, and then it's connected to each of the Facebook groups. So when you're involved and have a passion for anything, especially when it's improving an important area of your life, whether it's dating or money or personal life, you want to meet other people that have a similar mindset. That's why you're here for a mastermind for business. And so we gave that to them for free. And then if they want to meet us and have us actually guide the masterminds, then they'll pay us the money. But we crossed that free line so much that when I sent that email, I sent an email to our email list and I said, hey, I'm doing this world tour. In order to make it affordable, I'm looking for volunteers. And here's what a volunteer could do. You got to give me $500 and then now allow you to hang out with me the entire time I'm in town, or give me a couch or bed to sleep on, or even a blow-up mattress at your house. And by the way, if no one volunteered for that, at the end of my seminar, I'd say, who wants me to crash at your house? Then I'd also get people to drive me from city to city, or volunteers to do so, or if they want to volunteer for the whole month, I will just hang out with them and answer any questions they have. And then I'd have people apply, like 30, 40 of them per continent, because I'd organize my tours by continent, you know, per 30 days, so I could go back to LA every single month for my board meetings. And then what I also did was said that if you wanted to volunteer to help build what I called Inner Circle, which are these Facebook groups in each of these different cities, that's great. I'm looking for a team of like 10 to 15 people to volunteer in each city, so you could organize weekly events and get people interested in what we do from the very beginning. And people just volunteered. And I used to be in a fraternity, and you know, I've been involved with the Air Force and been involved with other businesses, and so I learned all this stuff. Yeah.
And would the little chapter heads get paid a commission on some sales?
No, we wouldn't pay them anything, but what we would do is we'd allow them to go to any of our events in their city for free. And that to them was worth its price in gold, and also work with us behind the scenes. I mean, people would pay to work with us. So we also had people who also would pay $500 a weekend, and they get to work just for the weekend, but if they want to work as interns or volunteers, they can. So they'd work for 20 hours a week. I mean, I believe full-hearted in this because I personally was an intern myself. I interned with everyone from, you know, governors to senators, politicians to businesses like Intel or attorneys. But yeah, I'm interning now. Now I'm interning at Sony Pictures because I'm learning about how to make story for the film that we're developing and TV show they're interested in producing with me. I'm interning at Sony Pictures. I won that for $2,000 in a charity auction because I have valued the ability to help people through internships so much. In fact, every person who wants to work for my company, I have to intern first. And they get on payroll, but you know, our sell for our guys if they want to become instructors is pretty easy. I mean, you get guys who will compete, but we have to get to know them. And they're interns and they're really good at also teaching and assisting our instructors. It's pretty easy to sell someone because you're like, what was the most you ever made in your life? Okay, double, triple, or quadruple that. Choose any cities in the world you want to travel to all year. And all you have to do is be very good at picking up girls and teaching other people to do the same thing. Now, you give someone a contract that says that, they'll sign that as soon as possible, you know. And as a result, it's a glamorous life. And also, the business model we built was something that we were able to replicate because the principles we teach are in self-improvement. So a third of the clients don't even come to us for dating advice. They stay even after they get married just for the self-improvement and identity level change they experience from being losers without a network or soul circle or a business network to people that own their business. So we have a business education YouTube channel. Mine is Nitco Official on YouTube. We have a health and fitness one where we have guys like Brandon Carter and Elliot Hulse and Kino Body doing products with us. And then we have, spirituality and self-improvement channels in general. But we build like tribes on YouTube that get people really addicted to our content. I think what also happened that was really interesting is that after I finished a tour, met my wife, I decided to retire and just stay on as an advisor, because I also, throughout this entire time, was in school. I'm in school now. I mean, I've been flying back every week to study law at Harvard, but I've been in college for 15 years. So I did my undergrad at University of Wisconsin, the first MBA program at Loyola Marymount, then another one at USC, plus film school at USC, plus Cornell for hotel school, plus Harvard for legal studies. But what I would do is I would fly back for classes. Now, we live in Las Vegas, and Monday through Thursday every week for the last 6 months, we've been flying back to Harvard to go to class, so our awesome 3 cats at home could chill without losing their awesome backyard and having snow in Boston. And as a result, I think continuing education is super important. I mean, I've spent over $1 million in Masterminds like the one you guys are doing here in just a 5-year period with my wife to help her travel around the world and learn so she could become an awesome entrepreneur and build her businesses, because she has a video production company as well. And a video production company. So I mean, most of what we also did internally, because I view ourselves not just like a publishing house, but also a video production company, because we've spent millions on camera gear. We have over 100 cinema cameras, and we have mobile stuff, we have big stuff, we have huge rigs, small rigs, we have all sorts of really cool stuff. But we're at the point where we could get into scripted story, because I believe that in order to captivate larger audiences, you can't just be educators, you got to be entertainers, or what I would focus on is infotainment. I like to think of myself as like Dr. Infotainment, because we have a team of people who are out there not just educating, but entertaining people. And
sorry.
Yeah.
Game for pitching. It was Pitch Anything, Oren Clapp.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know him. So he actually attended the boot camps with us at Project Hollywood. He actually lived in that bunk bedroom.
He took that
and he turned it into business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
In the book, yeah.
Yeah, so all the concepts in the book, the basic premise of it was principles he learned from, the game principles he learned from our programs. Yeah, so I've known him now for 13 years. But yeah, now he's a bestseller, and that's awesome.
Yeah, they actually, they wanted to, there was a certain point where we were contemplating selling the company. We were talking to his company.
Yeah. Well, I think it's great because the art of cold approach is so important. I mean, one of the things that we did for the company BizNow is that they had sales reps that would go to conventions, even if they were hosting a convention, but even if they weren't hosting a convention, you have their expo tables. And you have all these people that could be potential clients, and they weren't cold approach walking up to people and trying to get them to close sales continually. They're kind of scared. They would hover in this thing we called the chode crystal. They just like are attached to each other, and they can't, so we have to break the crystal, spread them out, so they're not stuck to each other, and get them to walk up to people, try to hook them, get them interested. We do these things called mission impossibles. It's not because it's an impossible mission, it's because these things that we try to get people to do, they think that it's impossible. Kind of like the movie Mission Impossible. So one example would be, let's say that you go to try to hook someone's conversation. If you want to hook someone's conversation, you have 30 seconds to really get their attention at the very beginning. So we'll take people to a department store, and you'll have an escalator. If I'm going to the top to the bottom or the bottom to the top, you'll have 30 seconds. So what we'll do is we'll get people the mission of walking onto an escalator with somebody else and try to captivate that person so they want to stop and continue talking to you at the end of the escalator. That's just a simple mission. But we have thousands of these little missions that we'll apply to people so that when they're out there, they could apply these same skill sets in the real world. They could go back home, show their fancy skills to their friends. And as a result, what do I have to spend on cold marketing? Zero, because they're the marketing source. So one of the cool things about what we did is that we don't have to spend money on marketing. I mean, if you count the millions of dollars in AV gear, yeah, that counts as marketing. But the actual advertising ad budgets, and actually buying traffic, like I don't have a Google AdWords account, or I'm not spending money on outbound ads or buying ads on people's websites. We're just creating an awesome product and service and putting it out there for free, but then having the ability to actually go to us as their chance to really, buy into who we are and get to know us. And as a result of having so many free events all year round, People could come to us face-to-face in person, meet with our guys. Now, of course, we have webinars and we do all these things because we want people to be as engaged as possible. We'll do things like IG Live and Facebook Live, the Snapchat, but the IG Live, Facebook Live allows interaction. Same with the YouTube Live. Like we have, for post-launch, we'll have campaigns, but pre-launch, we'll do extreme campaigns. Like YouTube Live campaigns for products where every day for 90 days beforehand, we'll spend 1 or 2 hours on YouTube just answering questions. I know our guy Max did that, and he had one of the most successful launches we've ever had. So what we do as our business model is every single month, we launch a video membership site of 40 videos, and then we'll sell it between $300 to $600. And then if it makes somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million in the first month, that's fine. And it'll make like half of that the following month until it gets to about 20 to 30,000. That product will make that much every single month. And we keep these products out there. And then every month we just launch a new one with different instructors. So if you have...
Can you repeat that again? I'm kind of taking notes. Can you give me your notes?
Sure. So if you have 10 instructors, and each of them gets 1 month to launch a product, you try to get them to do...
Each instructor gets one launch a year, basically.
Yeah, unless one of the instructors bows out. But we also have holiday specials. So we'll have things like the Christmas special, or we might have a Black Friday special. And then we'll also have promos for our events. So if any of you want to come to my event in Vegas, you guys can come to my Vegas immersion event. Gives you a night for free.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah, it's based out of the world's largest strip club. We have our offices there. We do seminars there. We can send you a limo. Sapphire. And then we'll do a seminar. Then at night, we'll get you into the hottest parties, and you can see our guys go out, practice their skills, and during the day, they might show you critiques, videos. You do that Monday through Wednesday if you're in town. And it's pretty fun. And anyone watching this video, I'll offer them the same gift. They just need to contact me, papa@realsocialdynamics.com. But that's just for, mostly for people who are watching Daven's videos and appreciation for Daven.
So give me the numbers again. So on a promo.
So let's say that okay, so let me break down the structure of the product launches we do also. So the whole year, let's say you're an instructor and you want to create this product launch. We'll split the profits with our instructor.
50/50.
But yeah, let's say that we have a situation where our guys are doing videos every single week, they're doing articles every week, they're doing live events 3 times a week or more. And then they also will meet up with Facebook groups. They have a team making videos for their product, but also for the free YouTube videos. So they're hustling, but they can travel anywhere in the world they want to go, and we're paying for them to go anywhere in the world they want to go and do whatever they want.
And are you flying a crew with them every time?
Yeah. Yeah, we have an army, so they have their camera crew team. They also might have their marketing team with them, so they can prepare marketing materials, email launches, campaigns.
And when they get to wherever they go, they are going to be doing a seminar or a series of trainings, is that right?
They'll be doing a series of seminars. Like Thursday night, they'll do a free tour. It'll take place from 8 to 10.
It's like the preview model.
It's a preview model where they'll upsell like 10 to 20% of the audience on a $300 group seminar that takes place that Saturday for 1 day, where we show what they did throughout the year. It's always new content, always new videos, so you'll have that higher repeat business. So if you look at my business model, 50% of my revenue is repeat customers. 50% is new business, first-time customers. But then you have a situation where the average purchaser is purchasing 6 to 8 times if they bought anything at all, which is awesome for us. It shows the brand loyalty. But you have to have a really awesome product. I mean, the reason why every competitor in our business has gone away is because our free stuff is so much better. Not just in terms of content, but also even camera quality or entertainment than their paid stuff.
What everybody else would charge for.
Yeah, I mean, they'll use their little cameras and iPhones. We have like $20,000 rigs doing professional content that's for free on YouTube. Then our paid content, the reason why people will buy, it's not just because it's torrentable video content in the membership site, it's also because you have different tiers. Depending on what tier you buy into, you also get access to a phone app where you can communicate with the instructor and the tribe that you bought into, because every product has its own tribe. And then what you have is you have a situation where that tribe also has a Facebook group and also has a membership site where they can communicate with each other, ask each other's questions, ask the instructors questions. And then that content, if they want to go onto a video program, they can go onto his YouTube channel, apply to be an intern or a volunteer. They have a chance to get closer to us. I mean, people are so dedicated to us that if we have a house in LA and we have a backyard open, we've had guys pay $1,500 a month to get a tent in our backyard to work for us for free for 40 hours a week, just so they could be close to us, and we'll teach them. We'll teach them things that will change their lives for the better, not just for pickup, but also in terms of identity level change and self-improvement. And then we'll also deal with any media scandals, because we'll have a massive attacks. We had a hacker attack, And these hackers started saying crazy things like, hey, pay us a few $1,000s, I'll teach you how to rape people and get away with it. It led to a massive global scandal where 160,000 media articles a day were written about us. One of my instructors became Time Magazine's most hated man in the world. But because we had a loyal fan base that knew who we were, when an LA Times or a major media outlet would talk all this crap about us, we'd have 3,000 to 5,000 responses per article of people defending us around the world. And that small group of people, because we're talking about a small group of people relative to like the mainstream media that has access, let's say, of 160,000 media outlets, each with like 100,000 followers, we are able to still fight that, survive that, and defy that to the point where even when my bank accounts got frozen because they thought I was a leader of a global terrorist organization where thousands of men were paying thousands of dollars to go in hotel rooms and teach people how to rape and physically assault people around the world, we were able to convince people, no, this is completely fake, but yeah, send your bomb threats or whatever because my guys are going to protect me. So we had all our bank accounts frozen for like almost a year. We were able to survive because we had other people that support us. Banks left us, new banks came. People who own the bank are our clients. Vendors leave us, email list providers like A-Lever say, we're bouncing, we can't deal with your scandal. Fine. Good friends that have great email list providers that are friends of mine or who follow our business, they are newer vendors. People leave our company because they're scared. Fine. We have like a list of millions of people on social media combined with our email list that will just volunteer to work for us for free. And that's that protection. Like, if we didn't have the internet, I wouldn't exist. It just wouldn't happen. I mean, this is the power of the next generation of technology here. And that's also why, if you look at, say, the Producers Guild of America, the chairman of the Producers Guild of America's new media department created a new media division just for video production because it's like the old way of doing things is broadcast news, broadcast TV, print media, all this stuff. And there's this whole new digital millennia that is out there where you could get your stuff out there through phone apps and also through YouTube and other social media platforms. So, I mean, we get people out there by partnering with influencers, but also mostly it's having the good stuff ourselves and getting people from discussion boards that belong to other people and then posting our content and then referencing people back to our YouTube channel so people subscribe and copying that content and cross-posting it on other people's channels. That's how we did it from the very beginning. So I would do that about 4 hours a day. So that was like half my like normal 9 to 5 day. But I mean, I was working like 16 hours a day when my first 3 years of business. I mean, I was at the point where if I want to go to sleep, I just lie down. I'm not taking off my shoes. I'm just going to get back up. It's like inefficient. I was at the point where if I want to take off my button down to the bottom, I'd have to take off my button down in the undershirt at the same time because I know those seconds counted. I just believe that like the seconds that a competitor could have when you're building an industry from the beginning, because this is not like a business. I mean, now it's like a business now, but we're an industry. Like, because like I knew that everyone's trying to compete against us. Because like what's the barrier to entry when you have no competitive advantage? You don't have scale or anything, nothing. So now we have scale, so we can do things that other people can't do. We have economies of scale too.
What do you mean by cross-posting?
So I would copy and paste these things that we call field reports. Field reports are things that we say to girls and also detailing what she said back to us when we said certain things. Because it was like a journal, but to the point of detail that it looks like we were writing a Hollywood script. And in my internship, I'm reading 2 or 3 of these a day. Our scripts were sometimes big enough to be a Hollywood script in and of itself. And entertaining enough because people just took our field reports, turned it into a book, became a New York Times bestseller, twice. But I mean, it's fun stuff. I mean, it's adventures, and also some of it wasn't even related to picking up girls. We'd have crazy field reports like some dude's afraid of talking to girls because she's with guy friends. So we'd be like, you see that big dude over there with the muscles? I want you to walk up to him, tap him on the shoulder, and say, "What's up, brother? High five." And he'd have to do that. He goes, dude, that guy looks like he's like 6 foot tall, like 350 pounds, tattoos everywhere. So he'd have to do it. I said, look, you promised me that if you paid me $2,000, I could kick you off the program if you don't do what I'm telling you to do. So you have to do it. So he did it. The guy laughed and gave him a high five. And that just shatters his reality. Because if you could face your fears, this fear technology we created, if you can face your fears, you can do anything because then you're thinking outside the box. And that's the most important part. Because when everyone always tells you you can't do anything. Like, I think everything's impossible, but you just have to spin it. And that's why we are surviving. It's just the game that you play. If I look at like our business model, when I first talked to people 5 years into the company, I'd approach attorneys that were talking about how we run our business. And they would say, that's the stupidest business plan I've ever heard of. I said, no, I've been doing that for the last 5 years. And it was ridiculous. It just sounds silly. It won't. I mean, I just think the situation now is I think that, probably 20% of this room already knows who I am before I came here. But eventually, when these movies come out and everything, it'll be larger. Hopefully, though, the majority of the people that know us isn't because of false pretense. That's why I wanted to create entertainment, because I don't believe that people, when even the media was attacking us, and arrested my wife and I in Singapore, I think we were a terrorist organization for a night in jail, because they thought we were organizing assaults, because Anonymous started having these fake social media accounts pretending to be us, attacking us. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Well, we had a situation where when that happens, it's because they're not actually watching our actual social media, because if they did, there's thousands of hours of content, but because journalists don't have time, they source one random blog with sources to another. If you read books like Trust Me, I'm Lying by Ryan Holiday, he talks about how he's organized campaigns to do specifically this twice for a guy named Tucker Max, successfully. And this is exactly what's happening now when you have people managing social media to organize global attacks against other corporations. But you could do the same thing for profit. And the thing is, we were doing that. One of our guys was doing that with these offensive jokes, but to get viral. But the problem is he was too good at that, got way too much attention. So he had to tone back. Now he's like, he saw his psychiatrist and became like the spiritual guru and partnered with a bunch of feminists. And he like made a business with them. And now he made $1 million his first month, which is awesome. But about being a spiritual guru. Pretty funny being Time Magazine's most hated man in the world in 2014 to being a spiritual guru, making $1 million a month with the feminists that attacked him. Anyway, I believe that in order to captivate an audience, you need entertainment. You can't just captivate anyone. There's too much out there. If you look at YouTube anymore, trying to start a YouTube channel from scratch now as opposed to in the past is super freaking impossible unless you have something that's going to captivate people. If you just have boring content, or you don't already have an existing platform, or people that have platforms to promote you, it's really difficult. So you got to find that next new platform. So even though we're on YouTube, we're always looking for the next new thing. So when someone tells me, oh, Snapchat's the next thing, we're jumping on Snapchat as the next thing just to hedge our risk and hedge our bets. Back in the day, we were on MySpace. We had a huge MySpace presence. Now it's worth nothing but for music people that want to post stuff, and it's like an inferior version of SoundCloud and other devices. But I mean, I was originally just trying to create a YouTube channel that was for fun. And then I thought, you know what? I have this guy who teaches rap on my channel. Let's make some business education, hip hop rap videos. So I started learning how to rap. Then I started meeting with my people and they're like, you know what? These guys are really entertaining. Let's turn it into a story. But actually, our guys are so interesting. Their story is so cool. Let's turn it into a musical. Then I met with these producers in Hollywood. Now I'm in the office of Stephen Tish, who did Forrest Gump. And I'm like, what's this? And his producer, Todd Black's coming. He's like, no, we should turn this into a TV show. I'm like, okay, this is cool. So on Wednesday, I'm meeting with Jordan Horowitz, who did La La Land, talk about how he produced that as a musical for entertainment. But it's really cool because I'm now meeting people in all areas of life. And you never know who you're going to stay in touch with. There's people that I thought would have nothing to do with my business in the music world that I've stayed in touch with from the Project Hollywood days. They're now relevant to me because I'm interested in getting more in the music world. And I've never done any business with them, ever. You never know. Like there's people who I know from the real estate world. I didn't want to get involved in real estate. They were some of my friends, like a decade later. I've traveled to cities around the world and I never thought I'd ever go back to. Now we could go back to any city in the world and I have a network of friends, stay in touch with them. That's the power of social media. I mean, I remember there was a guy named the Unabomber, like Ted Kaczynski or something. And my dad at the time was working at California State University's computer science department. He believed that technology was going to destroy the world to the point where he's creating these bombs and saying it to like my dad's office and other people. He's the Unabomber. And he got caught. And his belief was that technology was going to hinder the world. But for me now, it's like the way that it opens it. It allowed us to create this global tribe. I mean, I couldn't create a tribe in different cities around the world to coordinate it myself, but we have a lot of volunteers. The systems and platforms help us automate it, but you got to get people to help you. I mean, I think my first way I started to recruit people was just emailing my email list saying, hey, you want to volunteer? So I hired these 3 little Asian guys that kind of looked like me. We called them Mini Papas. And I was called Papa. They were called the Mini Papas. And they would basically just do my errands. But then one of them, they all became really successful. One created an internet marketing channel for us and helped us with our technology and getting his good rates from merchant accounts. Now he has his own $60 million a year hair product business. Another guy became my CFO, and the other guy, took over as the senior vice president of a $100 million tech company. But these are people who learned the skills while interning for me. So we teach them good skills. I think that people give internships a bad rap, like in New York, because these 3 people that were doing coffee were interns and weren't getting paid for the studio. But you actually learn some great skills on proper internships, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to see if anyone has questions, because you've given a lot of content, and I want to just pause and see if anyone has questions.
Yeah. Cool.
I got a question for you. What you're obviously driven by something. I mean, the sheer massive stuff that you've done and continue to do when obviously financial might be taken care of. So what drives you?
I would say that when I'm doing my company, if there's not something that's cool and fun, I'm definitely going to get completely hands off. That's why I retired in the first place for 3 years. I came back, though, because I was creating a tech company that I thought would be really awesome for us. The concept was like an Airbnb for hotel convention center rooms and also theaters that we could rent, that my own company could use. But when I saw that my company just kept growing and growing, I actually came back for financial reasons and also because I wanted to make sure that my people were going to stay around. I guess a lot of it had to do with loyalty. Yeah. When I think about, say, my company, and I risk all in a lot, almost all the time. Like I put above all in all the time so we can make big moves, because our company is growing at 20% year to year every year, which is doubling the size of our company every 4 years, but literally. That's why we became in 86 and the fastest growing companies in America, and like the list companies. We were based in California. Now we're based in California and Vegas, but we're Inc. And then like we were like pummeling like resources into things. I take risks, also because I believe in my people. But I mean, when I think about my people, I think about those people that have been loyal to me for a very long time, like my instructors, like Ozzy, for example. He's been loyal since 2004. Or my business partner, Owen. He's been loyal since the very beginning, since day one. And he's more like family to me. And I think, if this company doesn't thrive, my guys can't do it without me. They need me to push things forward. And I always wanted to have a global company that had, power, influence, and scale. I come from a very strong educational background, though, and I love the challenge, academic challenge. I mean, the whole reason why I wanted to do the Broad musical was only for one reason, because I like as opposed to doing it like for film or video, because I think of like Broadway and a musical as like an intellectually academic challenge. Right. And the beauty and entertainment from it is like more difficult for us as opposed to using our already existing cameras. But then again, I'm a realist, so at the same time, I'm more likely to produce a film. So, we've already invested so much money, so I'll probably do that first. I'm also driven by, the idea that I'm doing something that's fun as opposed to not doing anything. Then at the same time, I have taken years off just to play golf every day, 7 days a week, until my wife tells me you're playing too much, I have to pay 5 days a week. I also have gone to the point where we traveled around the world. I took my wife to 70 countries. I went to 110 because you couldn't travel to some of the countries you were scared of, like Algeria. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. But I love the adventure of it. I still also think that we should make a lot more money. My business partner's goal is to have influence and be able to help as many people as he can. His belief is we could replicate the dating business to these other business lines of health, business, and spirituality, which is what he calls higher purpose, as opposed to just like this dating niche for men. Use the platform as a base. He believes that we could pummel it into a $200 million company, and he creates the content. I create content just from my knowledge of being a businessman, so I'm the business guy. But the thing is, I'm a structural guy who build operations and systems and stuff like that because I've done everything in my company. I grew up to the point where I also have fear. I have fear that my company could be taken down because, I grew up with this fear that if I was something I didn't know, it was going to harm me in some way. I came from an academic family. My dad became the president of RI. My mom was a kindergarten teacher. And I'd go to the library so often because I believe if I didn't know something, it would harm me. To the point where I was going to college classes when I was 12, from my dad. I'd take his classes, know what was going on. And he would always say, you're trying to get into too much, but I was in this fear. So, I would hear about these things like the African American Student Organization. So I joined that and learned more about black culture. And there's the Asian American Association. I joined that. Then there's the Women's Association. And I even joined that. And I'm in the picture in the yearbook for all these things. The thing is, even though my dad says, don't try to be the jack of all trades and get involved with everything. So I'd volunteer for the hospital. I'd volunteer for the Republican Party, the Democratic Party. I'd volunteer for tech companies. Just because I wanted to learn. The thing is, when you're a CEO, you need to learn and know how to do a little bit of everything. So I guess those skills worked after all. So that whole, like, I told you so, that's that moment now. So my dad always came to the point, though, of telling me that I couldn't do things. Like, he'd take out, I'd get food, and he would say, your eyes are bigger than your stomach. And my mom would say, prove your dad wrong. And then my dad would be like, you're just spending too much time playing video games. You're not going to be able to get a good grade in this class. And then he would help me prove him wrong. He would just stay up all night for like 5 days in a row, no sleep, just studying with me. But he would do that his whole life. Anything I ever wanted, even this business here, he would support me. Like, this is the dumbest business I've ever heard of. You do this, we're disowning you, we're cutting you out of the family. Then he would look at my company, help advise me and stuff like that. So it's like, it's the exact opposite, you know. But so he would support me on everything. And I think that's the right thing to do, but he gave his opinion. Whether I agreed or disagreed, it was an interesting parenting idea. We're going to have kids next year. My wife's sitting right there. But we're having a boy and a girl next year, twins. So we'll see if that has any influence. But I'll be...
You guys engineer them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're doing IVF and all.
Yeah.
They're here, but they're not here.
Right. But you're deciding the sex.
Yeah, the surrogate allowed us to... so we chose the gender, you know, and put it inside surrogate using an agency. And the surrogate grows it. It's like Toys R Us. You just go to the store, pick up your kid, just like a cat. Yeah. Yeah. We have awesome cats. Cats are our family. Our cats have our last name. Yeah.
Were you saying that you have 10 people that you work with, like in 10 different industries, or you can do multiple?
Yes, we have different instructors. And those instructors could cross-teach, whether it's in the dating and business, or it's in health and fitness and spirituality, or dating and something else. These are the gurus. These are the guys who get paid the good money. I mean, our instructors on average make mid-6 figures if they're doing their job properly. If they just want to teach just the boot camp, the $2,000 weekend program, they'll make like $80,000 a year. We don't have teams of guys working with them to help promote their brand. But these are guys who are really talented, really on the ball, and have to really build their brand in a really powerful way. But I mean, we have 100 people working full-time with us. We have tons of people who are interning for us and volunteering for us as well.
So this instructor has a passion for what they're doing, or they just take some information and...
No. Our instructors, let me put it this way. The amount of content that we create is so far ahead of our marketing. It's like 99% content, 1% marketing. Our guys are innovating all day long, all year long. That's their job. So if their job is to learn how to pick up girls, they're picking up girls all day. They give their new stories, go on adventures, go in different cultures from India to Asia or whatever. They go out and get fashion makeovers. They go study spiritual gurus like Eckhart Tolle and study how that can improve your ability to be, you know, better at pickup. Because like the principles we teach in pickup's like the quick bait that attracts people to us, whether it's in a way that's positive or negative attention, it just attracts people to us. When they find us, a lot of what we actually teach is actually core principles of spirituality and higher purpose and self-improvement and identity level change concepts that you can find in even Deepak Chopra's stuff. But the thing is, the unique stuff about us is that we actually will apply it in very unusual ways and do it in a way that's real. Most people that disturbed me, why we created this company in the first place, the thing that disturbed me a lot was that there's these guys like who had this dating book. I shouldn't even say their name to promote them because it's so horrible. I'm only saying their name because they suck so bad. And they had this most awful TV show, and basically they showed like your idea to like get dates is to like go on a date and organize a date where it's like a scavenging hunt, and then like have pre-recorded sounds of like dogs and stuff like that to show you like a dog lover and play it while you're on the phone with her, and like oh my, these guys can't possibly be getting dates with girls. They might have like a girlfriend that already likes them and they appreciate the scavenger hunt. Maybe it's funny, they did a prank once and it got some jokes and they're doing this thing. But when the guys read this stuff, they're looking for something from the standpoint of, I'm starting from here with nothing. And you want me to do these super dates to get girls? We want to do things that are real. So whether it's business and we're trying to teach people networking or sales strategies, or if it's like health and fitness, we want to like show what it actually looks like when our guys are going through the change process. They get to know them. It's like a reality show. So, and they could teach them stuff. Like, you go to like rcnation.com, each of our articles linked to different channels or YouTube videos, where you can see that we have massive amounts of content. So, yeah, these guys are content creators, but it's like the lessons we learn from our clients, from teaching them, from helping other people, the identity level change they get. Guys going into relationships, how does that change when they get married? How does that change when they want to date multiple girls at the same time with the permission of the girl they're dating for threesomes? How are they doing it for like business and applying their skills for networking? I mean, some of the stuff we teach is pretty taboo to a lot of people, and as a result, we offend a lot of people. At the same time, we also help a lot of people, and as a result of being that position where we're kind of very one way, we don't hold back. We're not. It's like an example of everyone who hates. You know, I'd say most people who hate and talk about him around the world. Most people hate Donald Trump, but he always speaks what's on his mind. And it's like that book, Radical Honesty. We have different views than Donald Trump, but we also have that same principle of not holding back and being radically honest. And I think that what you're going to see is the whole old school way of doing things, where the broadcast media news network has the anchors and they say these very politically correct things, and they seem very plastic, even if they're actually genuine good people. It just is so fake, and as a result, they're so used to sharing that way of their persona. It's just not the way things are going to happen in the future. They're going to be destroyed by social media influencers. That's my opinion. I think that's why you have YouTube Red competing on Netflix, why nobody in this room has a newspaper, and why I don't have a cable box. So I think that things are changing rapidly. I don't even remember the original question, but
You covered that
you know.
7 minutes ago. So.
All right, cool.
Yeah, but so for a group like us, you work with outside people, or you just do your own thing?
Yeah, so I mean, I created a program called RSD Founders Club, rsdfoundersclub.com. So basically it talks about my beliefs in business, and people can subscribe to that. It's like a paid membership site, and if anyone in this room wants to actually be on my YouTube channel and ask me questions for like a half hour to an hour and just be interviewed, get your contact information to Jonathan right here. He's my camera guy. And if you want to be on video, I'll spend like a half hour to an hour with you and just be on the Ask Nick Co show, where you just ask me questions relating to business, and now I can help your company, we'll break down your company, you can even show me stuff. And as long as you're willing to have it all public, that's fine, because I just want to get as much advice as I can. My goal is to turn these interviews into a New York Times best-selling book and just allow us to be known for something other than just pickup.
And that'll go on your YouTube channel?
That'll go on my YouTube channel, Nick Co Official. So it's N-I-C-K and then K-H-O Official. And anyone who's watching this video gets the same deal.
Yeah, you did an interview with me. That's fine.
Yeah, I did an interview with Daven.
So I got a bunch of questions. We got 12 minutes. 12 minutes. All right. So
15 minutes.
so you're different instructors in each city. Is it a franchise model or not necessarily?
We own the content, we own the businesses, but we do have subsidiary corporations that we've established that are 50-50 owned with people. However, if they were to say, leave the company, that company would be dissolved.
And then all the people all the people that follow you, that huge tribe, they're all free. But then they get into your programs, and then they get into the private Facebook groups and the apps and et cetera, and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah, and we do have free versions of all that stuff. The only thing is, we obviously are going to answer the questions of the people that respond in our masterminds, and we're going to get to know them on a much deeper level, and we're going to have special live events that they could attend, like face-to-face, in person, and in addition webinar and teleconferences, and have them a chance to be a part of our videos. And we're also going to give them special offers, and we're going to give them special consultants. We have a team in Vegas whose job is to reach out to people who are different masterminds and then give them special offers and other masterminds that they could join. Yeah.
How many YouTube channels do you have?
16.
16. And are they all kind of slightly different?
So each instructor has their own YouTube channel, but some instructors have one channel dedicated to spirituality, another one dedicated just to dating and pickup. I have a channel dedicated to business. Some people will commingle channels like health, business, dating, whatever.
And do both you and them, do they both have access to that channel, like a password and so on?
Yeah.
Okay. This is kind of a trust thing.
We manage the channels though. So when you have a channel, if you want to be protected, because the company has management, they still have equal access to anything they want. That's fine. But the email associated with the channel is ours, so they can't kick us out.
Got it. Okay, so you allow them to enter in, they can upload content, whatever.
As long as the email for your YouTube channel is associated with your Prime account, then they can't kick you out. They still have control. You still have control. But you have a situation where they just can't take your slice and walk away.
Now, you're not buying like YouTube traffic, but are you retargeting?
Yes, but not for YouTube,
Okay.
for Facebook only.
Got it.
So we used to use retargeter.com. I think they're a great company. I know the CEO from Summit Series in South by. I think it's awesome. But I look at things like Facebook retargeting. That's where you really get the good return. You get 50 times your investment easily.
So are you running Facebook ads?
So what we do is you upload your email list to Facebook, and then you target your email list with your Facebook ads.
To your list.
You custom audience, and then you also promoted posts. And then you split test it with 150 different variations, and then you just keep the ones that work the best.
Got it. Got it.
We used to use this thing called Perfect Audience, but I heard it's not what we use anymore, but it used to be really awesome also.
Yeah, we use Perfect Audience.
Yeah.
There's some pros and cons to it. Perfect Audience is great. The only thing is it doesn't go to newsfeed.
And we were doing $50 to every dollar we spent in Perfect Audience in 2008, 2010. That was awesome. We stopped using them because we started focusing our budget on Facebook. Because there's only so many targeting ads that we could put out there. There's a diminishing return eventually if you put a certain amount of money into retargeting. So our ad budget is still pretty decently small. I mean, it's still under like retargeting ads for us. It's just a few thousand a month. It's like really low.
How often do you post to your channel?
So twice a week. So Monday I have a show at 1 p.m. Pacific time. That's where people ask me questions. And then Thursday I have a show on Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific time, where I ask questions from who I consider part of my mastermind, successful CEOs like yourself.
And so let's talk about that syndication. So when you put it out, do you always email the list?
I email my list, all my videos, but different times. But every single video I release, but for example, on July 10th though, as opposed to having like one email for one video, it's like one email for like multiple videos.
Gotcha. And that's just because you don't want to end up with email blindness, banner
The
blindness.
reason why is because I release videos more often than any other channel on my network, twice a week as opposed to once a week.
Yeah.
And we promote each channel on the front page of RC Nation, and also we have these periods called takeovers. So let's get back to that conversation I was going to open up, the product launch formula.
Yeah.
So we have a product launch formula is like the 7 to 10 days before the launch, we have a takeover on our website where the other brands that are competing for attention but sharing and promoting each other will just cross-promote this one particular brand. And then that takeover, the email list is focusing just on that one product. And then for the following 2 weeks, you can promote whatever you want, but we will have countdown emails of that 2-week bonus period where you take advantage of that offer for a special price, and that price will go up, and also special bonuses like live events, special masterminds, etc.
And what's the price point on that product?
Usually like $300 for basic, $500 for premium, and then $600 for premier. Most of the money will come from the premier stuff.
So probably not sold on the webinars, it's sold like a video, like a VSL.
It's usually a 30-page sales letter with the VSL plus.
30-page sales letter.
Yeah, so my old mentor was Corey Rudel.
Yeah.
And so he said that he split tested everything, and a 30-page sales letter was like the best. He created internetmarketing.com.
Monster sales page.
Right. So we'll always do that. Plus we have the video sales letter, and then we'll also have 4 mini video sales letters before the main video sales letter to provide content and sneak previews and upsells.
Okay, so guys.
So it's feature and benefits
Just translate
each
this
day. Yeah.
So basically, what they do, they're using a PLF style launch. So basically, they're running some.
PLF.
You gonna say something?
I know, but I'm saying PLF because
What is it?
Oh, product launch formula. Jeff Walker. Yeah, he's an old friend of mine.
Right. So what
Yeah.
they're doing is,
I haven't seen his product, but I know him very well.
so they're running a few videos, like one each day, and they're VSLs, which is a video sales letter. So it's a PowerPoint presentation with somebody talking over it. So there's no talking head. It's kind of like a webinar in a way.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I used to have problems with this ad, but then one day I found that okay. So and then they go to the sales page, which is a monster long sales page with a video.
Yeah, so what we have is we have a page, it's called the VIP interest list page. And on that page, there's no text, but there's that one video. And there's tabs on that same page, because we want people to go in there and add their email, because that allows us to do financial forecasting. And then
So that gives you an idea of what your revenue is going to look like.
Yeah, because if I get, say, like, X amount of opt-ins for this particular brand, averages X amount of dollars. And so every...
And sorry to interrupt, but I want them all to really understand. This is really important to you because if you're like, oh my gosh, we got a problem, this is not as good as we thought, you can do some quick changes on the fly if you have to, right?
Yeah, and also, if the opt-ins aren't going fast enough, it allows us to change the message, the marketing message. So we'll do it like 7-10 days in advance. Every other day, we'll have a different video on this page links. But you can still see the old videos by clicking on the tab that says click on this video. So I mean, and then when the sales letter launches, the entire text suddenly appears, but the upper top of the page stays the same. There's a countdown bar that goes to the launch, within the countdown bar also for the 2-week countdown period. If you want to see an example, our most recent launch was RSD Resonator.
So I'll pull that up in a second. So I just want to make sure I'm clear so everyone understands too. So basically, you've got this frame, okay, it's like this, and it's got a VSL going on for a few days, and then you probably have a countdown timer, and then when it goes live, all of a sudden you can see what's below it, right?
That's right.
Okay, and what's that URL? Should we take a quick peek at it?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to see an example, you could go to, I just Google RSD Resonator. I don't know what the exact URL is because we have so many products I've lost count. But this is the one that we launched 1 week ago. And so it's actually not even about, oh, there it is. It's rsdresonator.com. So
what does that stand for, RSD Resonator?
it's about vocal projection, resonating your voice, and how that could be useful in every aspect of your life. Yeah, let's just pause it for a second. Oh, okay.
So this is one of your guys, right?
This is Jeff. He's one of our guys.
Super charismatic.
Can you
super
imagine
confident.
what your life would be like if you could get 10 times better results in your game than what you're getting right now, regardless of how we get
Awesome, man. That looks great. And so prior to this going live, you couldn't get any.
You would see this top part only. So this above the fold only, and then you'd have this tab open. These other ones are blanked out. You don't, and then they open up, and you click on each one. And we do this every single month, a different product.
And prior to this, the videos leading up to this were VSLs.
These are the videos.
And these are
These are content videos.
VSLs.
We only have one VSL, which is the last one on the far right. These other ones may talk about the features and benefits of what to expect, but it's basically just thrown in there very lightly. It's 99% content. We will give so much content that they'll, just by watching these free videos, that might be like, 5 hours of free content that someone would try to sell for like $1,000. But we're selling our stuff for like, $200, $300, So as a result, people will stay loyal to us because we're giving them so much value for their buck that we run into our clients on the street. They just feel like they got way too much value and they'll just hand us $100 bills.
Right. So tell us a little bit about your syndication strategy. So you take a video, you post it, right?
Yeah.
What's next? What do you do to promote that video?
So we'll promote it to our email list. We'll post it on RSD Nation. And then if we have videos like this video might be cross-posted in one of our other YouTube channels that already has existing traffic. We posted and cross-posted by the inner circle leadership. So that each person, as opposed to, if you try to post like 270 different Facebook groups with one account, that account's getting banned for sure. But if you have volunteers in each of those groups posting for you, you can post in all those different groups.
To their Facebook groups.
To their Facebook groups, but their Facebook groups that are under our control as moderator as well.
And when you post it to the Facebook groups, do you send them to the YouTube video or do you upload
The YouTube
to
video.
Facebook too? Oh, you do?
We always send the YouTube video. And then also, same thing for IG, and also for Snapchat and Twitter. But we also will, on Twitter, more likely on RSD Nation Twitter at least, send them to RSD Nation because it's RSD Nation Twitter. But each individual influencer has his own Twitter.
Any other syndication?
We will share these with the people that we do videos with. So let's say that we did a partnership with Brandon Carter. They'll promote it on their social media, their discussion boards. We also will, let's say someone calls us on the phone. We will send them that person's most relevant videos and articles, and then once a week, give them updated ones until they buy the product that we're trying to sell them. And then after they buy that, we'll put them on the list for that guy. Say, hey, did you like this guy's content? If yes, then sell them another content of that same instructor. If not, hey, what are you actually looking for? Well, this is another instructor has this other product that is perfect for you, and then do it. And that's all the phone. We also will text message blast them with this text message service, and then get them to give us their phone number or just reply back with a text, and then we'll call them, or we'll email them and do coaching them as a buying a product coach, not like a actual instructor coach.
So Nick, sorry, last question for the moment. I've got more, but I'll let you.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously, Nick, you don't really need to work today.
I don't know about that.
But what's your,
I mean, if I was to retire today,
yeah.
the company would not grow.
Gotcha.
So I mean,
So that's what
if I was going to say lower my overhead and float and coast for the rest of my life, yeah, I don't have to work and play golf for the rest of my life. But I also won't be able to grow personally.
Well, that's what I want to ask you.
Yeah.
So today, what's your role in the company?
Well, I'm just officially the CEO.
What do you do? What's your day like?
Oh man, my days are very different. Usually it's like I have my assistant Lisa will schedule random things for me. I mean, if you look at like my present last week, it's like 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. I'm doing an internship for Sony Pictures. During lunch break, I'm networking with inviting people to Sony Pictures to meet with me for my own business. Afterwards, I might make a YouTube video at my house. Then I'll go to a board meeting, and then I'll go to sleep. And in the morning, wake up and do some coursework for Harvard.
Yeah.
And the weekends, I might hang out, play golf, go date with my wife. I mean, if I'm traveling, it's also a different story. But if I'm in New York, I might be just networking with people in Broadway. And if I'm in LA and we're in time crunching situation, might be like looking at rebranding and building a new commercial office. Because we have offices in different cities, great brick and mortar.
Have you used Facebook Messenger and any of
Sure.
the bot strategies and how?
We use Facebook Messenger. We use Telegram. I like that better. Facebook Messenger is good because you can message people, but that's mostly what volunteers do. They message people. They get people to show up at events and stuff like that. Post, coordinate through that.
Automated bots that.
When 2006 hit, we were doing bots on stuff like that, but we did that for like 6 months, and we found that like it's not as effective. I mean, we'll do things like say like a bot, but it's not really a bot. Like sending a message to everyone at the same time on RC Nation, but we don't do that on social media. Social media has to be more personalized, and you don't respond to everyone. You prefer to like. That's why I prefer doing YouTube videos, because I could talk to like tens of thousands of people at the same time as opposed to one. I just feel like even if I'm helping one person, he's super important. If I could get that on video, at least I'm doing something. Or if I'm learning from somebody, maybe I'm learning from anyone in here. How do Masterminds and AskNetCoach with the same person?